lot going on for the tech companies. We'll talk about growth. We'll talk about the use of AI. But there's also more and more countries in Europe trying to think of banning social media for under 16s. What do you say to that?
Look, we've raised concerns about this, and keeping young people safe on our platform is incredibly important to us. It's an absolute priority. And we've been investing in this area for a number of years. It's why we launched Teen Account back in 2024 to keep young people safe, to give parents supervisory controls so that they can also work with their children, their young people, in terms of keeping them safe. So what does that mean? It means restricting the amount of time that they spend on the platform. It means that they can restrict who comes on, and we place them all in that category automatically. So this is very important, but of course we're going to work with regulators wherever they are.
Do you think the ban will come through?
I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to speculate with you on that.
What are your primary goals for dealing with Brussels this year? The company was targeted with an abuse of dominance probe last year. Given also the relationship between the EU and the US now, do you expect it to get worse?
So I don't know where, in terms of how we speculate on where it will be, but what's very clear, and talking to European business leaders in particular here, they're very concerned about the rate of innovation and the rate of growth. We're seeing that all of the tech platforms have not been able to launch particularly their AI products at the same rate as they can the rest of the world. And there's increasing frustration with business leaders here, even more so than last year, because they can see that they're not able to take advantage of all the new products. You know, when you look at some of the research out there, take GDP. 20, 30 years ago, GDP of Europe and the US was exactly the same. When you look at the creation of new companies that are reaching over 10 billion in market cap, Europe's had about 20 of those companies. The US has had over 200. So it's very clear that there's a link between complicated regulation and also the ability to allow innovation to flourish and grow.
But is your relationship with Brussels changing? And actually, how do you approach regulators?
So we work very closely with regulators. You know, it's complicated in Europe because there's over 270. So we're always going to err on the side of strong regulation that allows both for people to enjoy the new products that are out there and businesses to be able to use the new products. And a good example of some of those products are we're talking here about growth as well, is our whole AI suite of products. Yeah. So they're called the Advantage products. They reduce the number of steps that advertisers have to take. Mm-hmm. And what we see now from the research is that for every dollar invested in our platforms, we're seeing an average return of $4.52. These are strong numbers. And when businesses turn on these devices, these tools that we have on our platform, accessible for everyone, the biggest kind of businesses in the world, but also, the local bakery in Cloisters, they're seeing on average between 20 and 25% increase in return on ad spend. So these are the things that make me very excited.
So what's the main way, for example, advertisers are even using AI?
Yeah, well, many different ways on our platform. So first off, we use AI when it comes to people on our platform to see more of the things that they want to see. So we have growth across all of our different platforms, which is fantastic to see. Then we have the Advantage Suite, which is very simple. I mean, some of the practices that you used to do took 150 different steps. Now you can do it in one step. We also see more and more the increase in our generative AI tools, how they can use it for text, for translations, for even the creation of for video now. We have over 2 million advertisers doing that. So all these things are combining alongside both Reels as well to really give growth for our advertisers.
Nicola, what do you think is still untapped in your mind?
Oh, so many things. I mean, I've got a whole smorgasbord of things. So definitely messaging. We're seeing a continuous uptake in more personalized communication between businesses and people. There's now over 1 billion messages sent every day between people and businesses. We see 8% of people around the world globally that are speaking with a business every single week. So this is an area both on the marketing side, but increasingly more on the utility and the authentication side. A good example is Air France. So Air France, when they switched this on, within a few days, it became their primary source of communicating with their customers. And they're doing it to deliver boarding passes, tell you about where your baggage is, also remarketing as well. So that's a very good example of some of the changes that we're seeing all over the world.
And where are we on AI-generated ad campaigns? I mean, could you see a future where actually, I also give my credit card to Meta and then you do the rest of what I want to buy or not?
So we're already being able to provide, and especially for our smallest advertisers, that they can go in and they can start a campaign by giving very clear instructions on who they want to target, what sort of growth that they want to see, and how they might want to adapt the different message in different ways. So we're working towards that as well.
Nicola, there have been reports that Manus is being folded into Meta's business unit. Can you talk about Meta's efforts around building a subscription business?
Yeah, okay, so there's a few questions in that. First of all, we're very excited about Manus. That deal was only closed like a week or so ago, and it's very much towards a drive towards Mark's vision of personal superintelligence. We already put Meta AI across all of our platforms, and so that means now that over 1 billion people are using Meta AI on a monthly basis. So that's fantastic that they have access to AI products for free. Within that, then, there's many different areas that we're working towards. And what does superintelligence mean and how we're going to get it? And what's the best form factor that we think that we'll see that in? Well, it's got to be the glasses, the wearables. And that's a big thing that we're demoing here this week. I've got my neural wristband on. I spared you my glasses as well. You've been trying it and you know what it's like. So the fact that the AI, which is delivered through the glasses, really keeps you in the moment, keeps you present. And the AI sees what you see, hears what you hear, and then can act as your own personal agent to help you with whatever a task it is, to maybe send you a birthday card in advance because it knows that matters for me to be able to do that, to many other things as well.